Okay, thank you so much everyone for being here. We are really happy having all of you here in this meeting. When we start with these online exhibitions, it was a year or something like this, a year or so, yes, because we have had like 9 or 10 online exhibitions. We really realized that in some point it was not enough with doing just like the exhibition, you know, because in some point it was not a dialogue between everyone. It was mainly like something from the people to the festival, the curator, and then from the curator to the artist. And in that point, we really thought that it was a great idea. And this is another example of that people really wants to get together and to exchange like directly in an horizontal point of view, because as we realized with the festival, the most important for everyone is really to be in touch like directly with the artist. We are organizing these meetings every month for Free for Everyone, just to try to get together, to meet, and to also to share a little bit more about the artists present on the exhibitions. We are not presenting the ones that they are on our page and the ones that were selected. We are choosing other people, because we really think in some exhibitions we have more than 250 proposals, and we think we really need to give more space to other artists. In the end, we are just choosing 9, respecting gender equality and trying to have people from all over the world. But we have much more interest in artists, and I think this is a great space to share, and I hope you enjoy. I'm seeing some new faces today, and that's really, really, really nice to see new people here. My name is Pablo. I am the co-director of the festival, and you have in some place Laura. Laura, where are you?
I'm here. Hi everyone, very good to see you.
Laura is also the other co-director of the festival. We invent this crazy idea of having an international meeting on experimental photography in Barcelona 3.5 years ago. And we are really happy that our family is growing really, really fast. Today we start with the registrations for the festival. If you are thinking of coming for the next summer to our 5-day summer camp on crazy ideas and experimental photography and sharing with everyone, just be sure to buy your tickets before they run out, sold out in some point of the next year. You have that opportunity. And also we are starting with some new courses of the Agora. On December the 6th, we are starting with exploring experimental photography. That is like a basic course related with the 10 basic theories and techniques. And then we are starting with the course number 2 of the challenges, that is called Message, where we are mainly working with different projects and different artists, like to try to find the message that we want to share. Something that is like a normal critique that people is doing to our community is that we are like too abstract. You know, that in the end, we're just playing with techniques and playing to make nice things, but in the end that we don't have a message. When we realize this critique, for the last festival, we create these 3 challenges, because we really want like to our community to get with these ideas, like to go 1 or 2 steps forward. And one idea was that to work more clearly with the message. That's why we create this course of 9 weeks. It's just 75 euros. And we are going to be working with that, with your projects, and trying to create new projects and trying to think what's the meaning of what we are doing. Then we are having another one. I think it's in February. We are starting the last course, the number 3, that we are working with ways to work collectively. What happens when we stop working ourselves, like separately, and we start collaborating with other people? We are going to be working with some ideas about that, and we are also to make groups and to try to make some projects that also may have some ways of coming also to the festival. That would be a great idea. We really think that the only way to go to find the future of photography is going together, and we really need to start like working collaboratively. We hope to have also this course of 9 sessions, and hope you are going to enjoy it also. If you want to get in this course, it would be amazing. We have the Spanish and the English version of all of them. with different artists talking in the different languages, and that's it. And also we are getting ready for the next online exhibition. Just for you to know, it's going to be about science, mainly about photography and science. If you know some crazy photographer mixing science and art, or you have some works related with that, you can send them to us. We are going to open the new online exhibition open call the day 10 till the day 25 of November, and the curators are Maciej Sapior. He's from Poland. It's really hard to pronounce his name. And also Felicita Russo from Italy. She was working for the NASA. I really love to say this because I love her stories about the NASA and the lenses of the bubble and all that kind of crazy scientific things. We are just going to be doing that exhibition. Just feel free to participate. And that's it. That was a long introduction just to say that we are happy that you're here. Welcome home. Okay, Dennis, how are you? Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm doing fine.
Okay, we are going to start with Dennis Moser here. He's not from France, as we said in our email. He's from the US, but he's living in France, and we are going to talk with him about his images. Just feel free to, oh, no, this is not what you have to see. Just feel free, Dennis, to explain us your work. Oh.
Yo no sé trompetera. Okay, this piece that is on the screen now, this is a more recent photographic technique, but it's based on a much older technique. It's called gum oil, and it uses sensitized gum arabic. In this case, I use a chromium salt, potassium dichromate, to synthesize the gum arabic. And it is then exposed with a positive rather than a negative. And the unexposed gum arabic is washed out in the water. So it's very similar to doing the traditional gum arabic printing, except we work with a positive, and what happens next is completely different. Once the print has been exposed and washed, it's immediately treated with oil paint. And because the unexposed gum arabic is softened and washed away, those areas take the pigment, which is why we work with a positive. In this case, the positive is a little unusual, and the theme for this session was mistake, chance, and repetition. And chance played a huge part in actually creating the image matrix that to create the negative. I use laser toner powder, and it is brushed onto clear film or any kind of transparent material. It's then fused to that material either by heat or by solvents, or a combination of those two. And so it's actually like a lithographic wash, so there's a lot of chance. Serendipity plays a very big part in creating the image matrix that then is printed. So that's how the negative is printed, that's how the image is created on the paper, but because you're actually applying paint to it, there's a tremendous range of experimentation and manipulation possible, because it's basically at that point you're almost oil painting, and you can actually come back and create multiple colors. The process was really advocated and developed by, I believe his first name is Carl Koenig, back in the late 90s. Sorry?
No, you can keep going. Someone has his microphone on.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to try to...
As long as it's not the cats.
You're allergic to cats?
Sure, thank you. Oh, I'm getting photobombed by a cat, and I can't think of a better way. So this is actually fairly small. It's I can give you the particulars of the materials if that's of interest to anyone, but it doesn't really make that much difference in the end result. It can be done on any support material that you can put gum arabic on, and that can then be washed. So that's the genesis of the piece.
Okay, but this is a unique copy.
Yes. Even though it is essentially a straightforward photographic process, and you could theoretically make multiples, it's extremely difficult to get the exact same painting effect over time. In other words, I could make another one like this, but I'd have to work very hard to get the same tonality.
Yeah. But
so
how are the copies? I mean,
I haven't tried to make a copy.
Okay.
Koenig himself said it took him something like 3 months to do 10 prints because someone wanted 10 copies of an image.
Okay.
The process itself is kind of slow because you have to you're not only having to deal with getting the gum itself to cooperate, but you also have to allow the paint to dry just like you were doing an oil painting. And so it can take as much as a month or two to actually complete a single print, depending on how many layers of paint you decide to put back on it.
And why you are using this technique and not other ones?
Oh, I do use other techniques. I use this one because.
But I mean, why do you use this one? Proposal?
Because the laser toner wash is a very unpredictable and ethereal process. The technique of using laser toner powder came out of the printmaking arena, where printmakers were trying to come up with ways to create new visual textures. And I'm not sure how well it's being conveyed. I can see some pixelation on the image. So some of the detail of the gradations of tone aren't there. And that's one of the strong things about the technique. Lithography is very capable of rendering that kind of tonality. And this is another way of rendering that kind of tonality with a photographic technique. And because I've been using this toner wash now for about 2 years, both as a means of creating a visual matrix for photo prints, but also as unique works on paper and acrylic material, UPO.
And this is like a printing technique. Are you also doing the photos?
No, this is a photographic technique, but it derives from the printmaking technique.
Yes, but I mean, this is mainly a way to print a copy. I mean, not a copy, but you are modifying a positive that you have already done. It's not modifying a camera. I mean, it's not a capture of the image.
Oh, this is not. This is. Yeah, neither of the images that you'll see are camera based. Unlike my background, which is camera based, I do work with camera technique, but these two pieces are non-camera.
Okay.
Photographic material, photographic processes.
Right.
But I do printmaking, and so I draw from some of the approaches that printmaking uses. Okay. Just like this one. This is basically an Argerotype, which is an iron salt silver process. It has been gold toned, which gives it the almost black, the very, very cold black tones. Gold toning, gold chloride toning does that. The image itself was created using a cliché vert technique.
Yes.
Of drawing on the transparency, scratching on the transparency to create the lines, and then printed as a traditional Argerotype processed as a traditional Argerotype, and then toned with gold toner. I then, on the reverse side, used watercolor. But I'm working with watercolor crayons rather than the paints. And so coloring in the areas, then laying the watercolor on a sheet, laying the paper on a sheet of glass, applying water on the face of the print, which creates a different effect than if I was painting directly on it. After that was dried, prints flattened, then I came back with gold leaf, just a traditional gold leaf.
Yes. And talking about the message, that as we were talking about this critic that we are having with the experimental, what can you say, not just about the technique, but also about the message, what you were trying to say, or what was your idea when you started this work?
A lot of the work that I do with these two approaches is really more akin to improvisation. As a musician, I've spent years doing improvisational performances.
Okay.
And photography, one doesn't normally think about photography as being something that can embrace improvisation, but there are ways of introducing improvisation into the process of making photographs. And so this is akin to automatic drawing, where I'm simply drawing. Someone said, I was reading a printmaker today, and she was talking about carving her blocks. She's a lino printer. And she says, sometimes you just start carving a line and you follow where the line goes. So this is, again, coming more out of the printmaking attitude and approach, and trying to introduce those kinds of exploratory elements into a photographic process. And I like the fact that with these iron salt processes, we get a different color range, tonal range, because, for example, Anne-Marie's background, I don't know if anyone noticed, she had this nice winter scene. That's a cyanotype. Well, cyanotype has a certain color range, and you can manipulate that color range from blue to black. And with Argerotype, we can manipulate from a very red-brown to an almost deep black, like you could see around the border, which is totally unexposed. And so it's actually gone black with the toning. So I work with the toning as well. So I'm exploring it almost more from the perspective of painting, which is also why I introduced the watercolor on the backside. Again, experimenting to see how it responded. And part of that is also exploring what this particular paper is capable of, because this is, and I hate to say it, it's really crappy paper. I really try to be very careful about the materials that I work with. The previous paper is a nice Fabriano printmaking paper, really sturdy, good, high quality, high cotton content. This is an unknown, apparently Oriental paper. I suspect it is either from Thailand or possibly from India. I cannot find out the source from the dealer that I got it from, but it has certain characteristics, and you can see some of the gradients of the color in the watercolor. That's actually following the lines in the paper itself. So I'm exploring the material of the paper. So a lot of what I'm doing with these two pieces is the defetishization of the photographic image, like what you see behind me, right? With using a photographic technique, but thinking more as a printmaker or a painter, or even a sculptor. Because
yes, and I think that that's perfect, because it's what we were looking with this exhibition of mixing techniques. I mean, what you are doing is mixing them all, and also having a reflection about how to mix them, why, the materials, the techniques. I love it. I mean, the results are really different. That's why I choose these two ones, like the black and white, and this one. That the other one was much more. This one, like, related with the paper.
It
This
very
one,
much,
it was much more like a
yeah.
chemigram, and the other one was much
Yes.
more colorful. I think it's a good way to know better your work with both of them, and I think they're really interesting for this online exhibition.
Just to give you an idea, I just very quickly changed the background. This is a painting with the same paper, a watercolor painting done the same way, where it's drawing on the back side of the paper, turning it over, and then wetting it out from the front. Same technique I used on this.
Yes.
Same paper as well. So this painting behind me actually appears to be three-dimensional because of the quality of the paper. And Anne-Marie knows this. I know Anne-Marie. We are actually, full disclosure, that's actually why I'm in France. We talk about the fact that a lot of photographers, traditional photographers, don't really think about the paper, the possibilities that different papers provide them. And alternative process photographers do tend to be a bit more aware of it, but not to the degree that painters and printmakers are. Because printmaking, you live and die by the paper you choose. And I'm a huge fan of Japanese washi. And so this is an attempt to start bringing more of the Oriental paper into my more traditional photographic process. I mean, the Argerotype is also actually a recent process that was developed in the 20th century by a chemist named Mike Ware in the UK. And it's based on essentially the same process as the Cyanotype. Again, an iron, salt, silver printmaking process. Van Dyke Brown is also related to it. So these are these iron, salt, silver processes that, if you don't do anything to them, they're this lovely red browns, and you can tone them with selenium, gold, platinum, palladium, and greatly change the color range that's presented. And as it turns out, the paper will have an effect as well. So that's the message.
Great.
Explore, experiment, try it out.
Okay, great. Dennis, it was really nice to see your work, and also I think when you explain it, it's much better, and it's much easier for everyone to understand the techniques, because it's not like easy ones to understand, because we are not used to work with printmaking. Thank you so much for your explanation. We are going to go with Laura from Argentina to see her images. Laura, do you want to start with this one or with the other one?
It's the same for me, because they have made with the same technique, and it's the same series.
Okay.
Series. So, these are lumen prints that I made from a very little piece of parts of vegetables. This is petal. No, one petal in English.
Which one?
The other one is this. In this to do this photo, I use one petal of a flower, and I made a lumen print.
Okay.
And here is, for example, I know you not have my camera. When I have the lumen print that is very tiny in its dimensions, because it is for one petal. I made a photo, and I work in digital. I work with the contrast and bright, and then I copy paste to do this form, because I was working with mandalas.
Okay.
And the same process is with the other photo. It was a very little piece of some plant that was in a tree.
This one?
And I made the same. Yes, this one.
This is a plant?
Then I know. Yes, this is, you know, when you have these plants that, esto es un clavel del aire, que son esas plantas que se agarran en inglés. Entonces tienen como esos bracitos que son finitos y se van agarrando y se van enredando.
Yes, I'm going to show this on internet. Like this.
Claro, este que tenés acá, donde está la mano, más arriba.
¿Este?
Uno que hay una mano agarrando como un manojo de cosas.
Este.
Claro, parecido a eso.
Okay.
Porque es como si fueran muchos hilos todos enredados, como si fueran hilos gruesos enredados, y yo agarré un pedacito. Entonces, uno de esos rulos es lo que yo usé, y después lo fui copiando, pegando.
Okay, but there are lumen
Y al
prints.
ser tan grueso, claro, to do the lumen print. And como son tan gruesos, cuando haces el lumen, quedan colores y quedan cosas, no es tan traslúcido. Y quedan brillos.
Okay, because they are thick, they are translucent, and they have different colors when you did it. But then you make it on digital. I mean, how's the process again? You start with the lumen and then you make it digital, or the digital and then the lumen?
No, I start with the lumen.
Okay.
A very little lumen, because it is, if you see the photo, you can see that there is a form that is repeating many times.
Yes.
So one form is the lumen print. And then the play is to paste them, and they, no, se unen.
Okay.
All the pieces together. So I make the lumen, I make a photo, and then the working digital, the photo of the lumen.
Yes.
I don't work too much in the color. The color, I only work on the contrast and in the bright. The color is what the lumen give. No, it's like the magic of the sun.
And why you are so interested in mandalas?
Because this series is like the end of another process. One very loved friend of mine died because of COVID. So I have the need of express all was happening to me. And I choose lumen print to do some photos. And in one moment, the pain began to have some relief, and I began to do these mandalas. It's like the end of that process, like that relief is coming.
Nice. I think the process is really interesting, and also mixing the analog and digital is always great. I think there is a lot of future also mixing this kind of analog and digital techniques. And we have one question to debate about the future of photography, and also we can talk about this analog and digital relationship. Does someone has any questions, or it was clear, the explanation? If you want to ask something, you can ask to Laura now.
I think I saw someone, Anne-Marie commented it would be interesting to see various stages of the process. I don't know if you maybe, Laura, publish something.
I think I have the answer. Don't worry, I have the answer. I think I realized.
Where
yeah.
did you find it?
It's fine.
Show us.
Laura, in your Instagram, do you have like different stages? If not, it would be nice that if in the future you can publish like the different parts of the process, it would be nice for everyone to know.
Okay. I can. I don't have all the stages. I only publish the final image.
No, but for the future, if you want to do it in the future, next one that you do something like this, it would be nice that you can like make to have the images of the different stages. It would be nice to see in the future.
Okay. I'll do it. Thank you.
Dennis, do you have something to say to Laura?
I had a question for Laura. Laura, do you fix the lumen before you go forward with the processing? Do you actually fix it chemically?
With chemicals, no, I don't work with chemicals because I don't know. I would love to know, but no, not yet.
Okay, so that
only vegetables and the paper.
okay, and then
the sun.
Do you wash the lumen after you've exposed it?
No, I don't do anything with that.
Okay.
One time I tried to put the paper after the exposure with this liquid, fijador.
Fixer, wait. Okay.
Yes, but I don't like because like the color wash, so I don't like.
Yeah, fixing it does change the color. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have all my little lumen in a box. So no light.
You should talk to Anne-Marie. She works with lumens quite a bit.
Okay.
She posted some comments in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, Laura.
It's a very cool process. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the explanation of your process. The images are amazing, and also is perfect for this exhibition on mixing techniques. Thank you so much for sharing. Now we are going to go with Fernando from Paraguay. He's going to explain also this amazing and intriguing photography.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this beautiful place to talk about digital and experimental photography and other things. In this case, I work with Deborah Polarini. She is from Italy. She is photography. My work is focused in the reflection about the theory of the image. I am starting now to introduce in my process some organic material technique. By the way, with the Agora exploration, the Agora exploration and collaboration, I am learning a lot about how to combine, for example, material layers in my process. Then me and my process is very chaotic and very. I do edition with my smartphone since 5 years ago. The process for me, the edition process is a vital process in my life. I live very critical stage in my life with the experimental photography, and in this case I use some painting layers and some analogical image, and I do the edition in somnolencia, and sometimes I waking on the 3 in the morning and 3 a.m. and I take my phone with the layers and I edit and just check sometimes details with Photoshop, but all the processes generally with my smartphone. I do the edition in a so chaotic line. In this case, I am trying to put the contrast about a building in Italy and the soft gesture of Debra. That is the result. And sometimes I don't know how the image I take the elements of my gallery and I use the pixels of the image as a paint as organic. It's like an organic process, but all in the digital vapor and in digital is a place or no place. I have some reflection more about the image. How is the image in the virtual place, and I can take that with some elements I have in my day in my pocket. With my phone I have always with me, and I do edition in the streets. I take image in the street. I have problems with and sometimes casi me robaron por hacer fotos. It's
Also
very dangerous
get
here.
stolen for making
Yeah, get stolen. Yeah, yes, for the editions. And for me, the process of edition is, as I say, is a day a bit of process. And from here, I take the material to do works with, for example, books. I do in the past books of poetry, investigation with anthropology of art process. I do exhibition as in this year I have the honor to be part of the virtual experience in the X21, and for me it's very very significant because the virtual, I am obsessed with the virtual image, and the gallery are virtual. I supposed with big artists and I know some artists and I admire a lot, and that is my process. I starting to know more about organic process, as I say, but the problem is I want to create an image in 10 minutes and 6 minutes, or do it very 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 quick. Sometimes I wake up because I have insomnia. In the middle of the night, I take some image, I edit, and I post it, and then I sleep, and I go to check my Instagram, and all the people say, "Hey, what camera do you use?" And I don't know. I just stole some image. I just put some layer. I don't know how is the process, but I do this since 5 years, and in 2 years ago, I know I am doing experimental photography. In the past, I don't know how to fix my process because I never had space in the normal photography. I never had a camera. I have a camera, but I don't use a reflex. I don't use, and I always collaborative. I always talk with people from Italy. I do an exhibition in Japan, and I can't believe that. I do an exhibition in Turkey, and I can't believe that. I do an exhibition with people from Iran. The other image I sent is a photographer and a model from Iran, Nassim Peshek is, I have here the name. Okay, the photographer is Nassim Peshek. He's a very friend from Iran. We always talking about the Persian writings, the Persian poetry of Rami, and this is my second opportunity. I work with Nassim, and we talk about, hey, when we can do an exhibition in your country, and she say, no, this is prohibido. This is
forbidden.
Banned. Yeah, forbidden in Iran, and it's amazing. And I do one image of Nassim in the 2020, and I posted the political crisis with Iran and United States in 2020 with Trump or other. And I post the image and I put, I am from Iran, and one children from United States write me to say, hey, please don't go to don't bomb my I don't know, it's very funny, but don't bomb my country or something like that. And I just say, no, I only post an image. I am not from Iran. I only post one image. I can do for you an edition. Never drop your bomb your yeah. That is just a funny thing about the collaborate with other countries, and maybe the tension of the world is sometimes, but that is about my process. In this case, I do the similar situation. I take the pictures of Nassim, and the pictures, I stole some pictures with permission. I stole with permission some image of their city, and I do the contrast of and all is very quickly. Yes.
And which program you are using in your phone? I very fun on Snapseed. For me, it's like, I don't know, it's like a very I know all the tricks of the tools, and I use Photoshop and sometimes Glitch Lab and other Premiere and other apps, but I think the concept is sometimes the same. Just take some contrast, some addition, some overlaying. It's the same. For me, it's very practical to use Snapseed because it's more quick. I don't have patience to edit with Photoshop. Yes. Can you put the name on the chat? The name of the program, because I have never heard about that.
It's Snapseed. I just found it.
Snapseed. Do you know that program, Laura?
Seed.
Have you ever used this program, Laura?
No, I just found it now, and I'm going to download it.
Yes.
Why we are not using it?
Yes, Dennis, this is Snapseed.
No, I use a lot of
I
don't. But sometimes
I have some videos of.
Sorry.
Sorry?
I portrait for Michela. Yes. ¿Se escucha?
Yes. No, you say that you have some videos.
Yeah, I have some videos from my process in my Instagram account. If you want, someone want to know about my process, I can show you, or I can do, like, because it's only 5 minutes for me, or 10 minutes sometimes, and I can. I had the videos. I do a portrait for Michela Di Lorenzo, and in the Snapseed had a very interesting option, and you can just click in one area and just take the bright or the contrast just in one area. It's more practical, more easy as Photoshop. Of course, Photoshop and the raw images. Of course, you have more space to work with one image for impression sometimes. But my process is collaborative, chaotic, and very focused in theory of art. Yes, and I don't know if yes.
If you can share that process in the chat, maybe people can see it when we are. I mean, we don't have time now to see all the process, but you can just put it in the chat because everyone is connected and they can just see it when we are talking with the next participant.
Okay.
Okay, there is
Okay.
any fast question to Fernando? Because I think we have been here for half an hour or so, just talking.
I think my presentation take just 4 minutes. For me, estoy feliz de que dure poco, que sea rápido.
That's like your images. Go fast.
Yes.
No, it was perfect. I mean, it was really clear. There is any question for Fernando? If not, we are going to go for the next one. Esther, are you ready?
Sí, hola.
Hola. Welcome home.
Gracias. Thank you for having me here. I'm very excited. Woo.
We are so happy having you.
Thank you. So this is my works that I have here are lumen prints with cyanotype. And actually, like maybe a year ago, I had no idea what lumen prints were until I saw them on Instagram, and I'm like, what is this? It looks so amazing. And like this, I did it actually like in the lockdown, so it was perfect because I had like a bunch of paper that I got as a present and I didn't know what to do with it. So I have a garden, so my last pieces of work have been like a lot with my garden. Like most of my prints are like plants that I have in my garden, also my photos, plants from my garden. I make also tinctures and colors that I dye stuff with the colors of my garden. So yeah, I always like the color of cyanotype. So the fact that I can put it on the photographic paper, I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. So yeah, this is the result. And in this one, I also like in the area in the top that you see like bubbles, I put like water with soap. So to get like this texture. And
Okay.
also the cyanotype was wet. So that's why like in the corner it is like that with textures and moving. And again, like I really enjoy doing prints like with the sun and all of these processes that actually like I used to shoot a lot of film, and
Yes.
this year I think I shot only like 3 rolls of film. Like I've been working now like a lot with paper and the plants, and it's very interesting.
Yes, because at the beginning when we know you, you were working mainly with double exposures and film soups. And
Yeah.
then now you are going much more into abstract and this kind of
Yeah.
techniques.
I'm really enjoying it also because of the fact that I want to use like less chemicals, like they are not great for the environment. So also like here I only use like very little amount of cyanotype, and I don't fix the lumen prints. Like this is actually the first lumen print with cyanotype that I did. Like before this one I did like some lumen prints to see how it actually works. And like the little information that I found online, like they were saying like, yeah, you need to fix it so the image won't disappear. But also like Laura said, like the colors, like the color change, it looks less bright, at least for me. So I actually don't fix them. I also have them in the dark in a box. But also, I don't know, I like the idea that eventually, like, I mean, you created the picture with the sun, but also like that is what is going to destroy it eventually if it's like outside or exposed to it. So I think it's very interesting.
Great. Anne-Marie saying that this process is called cyanolumen.
Yes.
And she was one of the very first to make it several years ago. If you have any
Oh,
questions for
amazing.
Sue.
If not
I'm
the
a fan.
if not the first, so I can give you lots of clues about it.
Oh, amazing. Would love to. Like, yeah, I've been doing them like only, I think like a year now, let's say, but like I really, really enjoy it. And like
Nice.
the other one that I did, it came after. Like with this one, I did add more stuff into the image. I don't know if you have it there, Pablo, the other
This one.
photo. Yes. Like to that one, I also did like cyano. Like the thing is, like I didn't had like a lot of cyanotype left. That's why I wasn't like doing cyano prints. So I was like, oh, I can use a little bit, and because I exposed them like I think for like 3 hours, 2 hours, like a long time, and also here like the sun is pretty strong, and so it also like I did it with the cyanotype wet, and like when it was outside in the glass, like it got like humidity, so there was also water everywhere, so I'm like I don't know what's gonna happen here. And again, there are flowers, like in this ones I use geranium from my garden. Like the blue parts is like the petals area of the flowers, and here like the colors is the blue from the cyanotype, and the orange and the yellow are from ¿cómo se dice? Curcum, that's how you say it in English. Curcum, or that's Hebrew. I don't know, my head with all the languages is like turmeric, yes.
Turmeric, yes. That was the last year Justin Kinnell workshop for the festival. Yes, it was turmeric.
Yes, so I used some turmeric and curcum and curry that I had in the house, and again, that was how it came out. It like reminds me like some galaxy or something, like with all the crazy colors.
Nice, really nice, really nice.
Thank you.
I really like the results. I don't know if Anne-Marie has any questions or if she wants to explain something. It would be amazing. I mean, I really love.
Well, there are a lot of extensions to this, and I can if she wants to, Esther wants to go a little bit more. There's a lot of extension. I've extended the whole process to something completely different, respects colors and sand comes into it, and you do fix it, but you preserve colors as well. You recolor afterwards. We can
very interesting. I love all the experimentation. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great. And we know that you were in Barcelona 4 years ago. Are you going to come back next summer?
I really want to go. Also, it's because I remember the first one was in January, I think, or like in the winter when it went to the I'm like, okay, I can do this, because I hate winter. I come here in the winter here. So I really hope I really want to go. I really want to go.
Okay.
Sounds like the dream.
Hope you can join us, and probably we are going to have some other people from this meeting there. Telma, are you coming back next year? We had Telma that was here.
The first, the second.
Yes, we have Elsa also. Steph, also she was here. Hope other people of our community is going to be able to do it next summer. I think it's going to be much easier if we are not having these troubles with coronavirus next summer. Probably it's going to be better for everyone. And also for us as an organization, it would be much easier, because we just made a lot of changes, last minute changes, cancellations and everything. Hope next summer is going to be better for everyone. Hope so. Just cross fingers and buy your tickets. We're just selling them from now till they run out.
We are still paying the bills from the last trip, just mind you.
Okay, but don't think in the past, just think in the future.
Yeah, I'm saving every penny in the piggy bank.
Okay. If you need, we can just do a crowdfunding for you, Elsa, just to pay everything and come for the next summer. No, we really hate crowdfundings, okay? That's not an option. We're not going to do a crowdfunding anymore. Okay, thank you so much, Esther.
Thank you so much
for your work. It was really amazing. And one thing for everyone, we are, something that I didn't say yet, we are going to open the call for the invited artists for the next summer. Anne-Marie, Dennis, Tony, or whoever wants to send a proposal, we are going to open that from the 15th of December to the 15th of January. Feel free to send the proposal for workshops and everything. We are going to be really happy of having you here in Barcelona as a participant or as an invited artist. Okay, next, Iris, are you here? Yes, yes, you are. Are you ready to explain a little bit about this amazing image?
There's not much like the previous people had a lot of things to discuss about their procedure. So I do murals as well, street art, let's call it. And
okay.
That was a day that I went with two friends of mine at an abandoned building in Athens center somewhere. And I found on the rooftop two doors, and I painted a piece on those two doors. I didn't send the actual mural. I don't know if the word mural applies to other surfaces other than walls, but anyway, let's use the word. So I don't have a final piece. You don't have a final piece, but I just took one door. Sorry. So I took one door and I took both doors and I placed them side by side in order for me to take a picture so I can upload it later and keep it in my portfolio. But the thing is that there was the Parthenonas in the back, Acropolis, and it seemed quite interesting, the fact that it was kind of melting. So that was the intriguing thing that clicked in my brain, and I wanted to capture it as an image. I mean, there's not a lot of materials and stuff going on here. Just a door placed in front of the Parthenona, Acropolis.
Okay. It was, as you said, intriguing. I was just like thinking how it was done, if it was like digital, that you put this image on, or
no, it's there. It's not a collage.
Okay.
That's the interesting thing about that. That these actually existed in front of my eyes. It was not a photo manipulation. That is why I like this picture. So not a lot of games going on here, but in general, I do take pieces from my, like, patchwork. I don't have that kind of images uploaded in my Instagram account, which I don't upload a lot anyway, but I do have the tendency to crop some, I don't know, apart from one mural, let's say, and play with it with images, but that's not what I sent this time. Sorry, am I confusing?
No, I think it's clear. I mean, it's not like the things that we saw, but it's interesting anyway, and the explanation is perfect. I would love to see the mural. Can we just go to your webpage or something and see it?
I do have it on my Instagram account, but I don't know if you can, if I can send it to you somehow.
You can share your screen.
Can I? Interesting. Yeah, if you go down and you will find two doors, that one. No, the one above the cat.
This one?
Yeah.
It's the same image, yes. Okay, I get it.
So that's the story. Not much to it.
No, but it's nice. It's really nice. I mean, it's different of what we used to see, like in photography all the time with cameras and representation of reality. I think this is really inspiring for us, that we are just seeing like photography in a broad sense. I think we really need to get inspired with different things and techniques and everything, and this This is really, really nice. Normally, we are not used to work with this idea of like public places and like big images and everything. And this can also be nice for the way that we interact, work with photography. The last festival, we had a workshop of Sarah. She was working with like photography goes to the street. And it was mainly like grabbing your images, making like fast collage, and then put it on different places and see how people interact with the images outside on the street. And I think it was really inspiring for the people that did the workshop. I would really love to do it because I love Sarah's work. But I think it's like as a photographer, the experience is really different from seeing it on your dark room or on Instagram or seeing it on the street. I think everyone must try at least once to see their images and that on that way. And I think it's pretty interesting. Also for the first festival, we make a big mural with Mariana Misarella. She's a ecologist from Portugal, and she was here and she was working like 3 days for making a big mural with different images. And also I think it was really, really nice. I mean, we are connected somehow. Okay, do we have any question for Iris? Iris, do you know Alexander Cantaros? No.
Nope.
No? Okay, he's an artist for the festival. He was here the last 2 years and he's from Greece. Also, I think he's working for the public television or something, doing some things with news or things. Okay, just general comment. Because we don't know so many people from Greece, that's the thing.
I think that we are like 10 million or something. I don't know. No, sorry, that was not a good joke. Not a successful one. Never mind.
No, I mean we don't have so many contacts in the festival or.
No, I got it. Sorry, brain sometime malfunctions in the joke department.
Laura, can you share Alexandros and Naroa's also Instagram, because it was also connected in my mind with what Dennis was saying about the printmaking and the different textures, because Naroa is also working with that. Okay, let's go for the next one. Julio is the last one, and then we are going to have enough time for going for a quick debate about different subjects. Okay, Jeff, see you next time. People is leaving and going and coming and entering. We are 25, 21 now. We were 26. Thank you so much for being here. If you have to leave, no problem. Julio, ¿estás ahí?
Sí, aquí estamos. Listo, ya conecto video.
Súper. Bueno, igual comparto tu imagen. ¿Quieres que te traduzca yo?
Sí, por favor, muy mal mi inglés.
¿Con cuál quieres comenzar?
Con esa puede ser.
¿Con esta? Okay. Okay, I'm going to translate to Julio's. He's from Venezuela. He's going to explain these two images. Just be patient with myself also for the English translation. If you want to say something else, I mean, Esther or Elsa, that you are also Spanish and English speaker, if you want to say something else and help me with the translation, that would be amazing. Julio, solamente haz la frase un poco corta para que yo no me olvide de cosas y podamos interactuar. Si no me ayudarán Esther y Elsa, que son anglo y hispanoparlante al mismo tiempo, y cualquier cosa que dudas que tengamos nos ayudan ellas. Genial. Bienvenido, Julio.
Gracias. Muchas gracias de verdad por permitir compartir estas experiencias todos acá. Bueno, this is una mezcla de Cyanotype, lumen print, photogram, chemigram, photogram, pues. Y la idea es tratar de dar un discurso con lo que son los archivos fotográficos familiares.
Okay, this is a mix of techniques. He just said with the different techniques. he's working with the family archives, trying to mix them all to make a new message about it.
Sí, aquí hay una combinación de organic, inorganic, different material, plant, photography, and objetos familiares. Básicamente, donde la luz del sol, en este caso, es la que imprime, la fuerza o en este caso la energía para la impresión de estas fotografías.
Okay, the sun is printing this mix of different objects. We have some images, objects, flowers, all the things related with his family in this case.
Sí, allí hay digamos lo que es el positivo. Aquí, si me pueden ver acá, ven que está la fotografía, lo que es el negativo, ¿no? Lo que se obtiene. Se usa paper photographic, black and white. This work, sí, básicamente esto.
Okay, y la otra, vemos. Y así si la gente tiene preguntas, lo hacemos todos juntos.
Claro, perfecto. También en las fotografías yo uso lo que llaman acetatos, que están hechos a alto contraste, para superponer en este caso en el papel fotográfico, ¿no? Y hacer la combinación de las fotografías familiares y los distintos objetos, tanto orgánicos e inorgánicos, los vegetales, cadenas, en fin, objetos del hogar, objetos pertenecientes a las personas fotografiadas.
Ok, Elsa, el acetatos y esto high contrast.
Yeah, I think it's like a laser transparency.
Yes,
film.
with high contrast.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's basically a negative kind of, yeah.
Yes, that he's mixing with like the different objects of the people that he's mixing for this mix of lumen and chemigram and photogram, done it with sun.
It is also called an acetate print, but it's basically transparency.
Yes, okay. Okay, Julio, pero me explica entonces cómo lo haces exactamente. O sea, tú pones todos los objetos sobre el papel, como un lumen.
Exactamente, todo sobre el papel. Bueno, evidentemente con días soleados. El tiempo de exposición puede ser de unos 4 a 5 minutos. En el trópico y específicamente en Venezuela, la luz solar es bastante fuerte y sobre todo si son las horas del mediodía, mucho más.
Yes, between 4 and 5 minutes of exposure direct to the sun with the paper and the objects directly. He's in Venezuela. This is really fast because there is a lot of light there.
Sí, también he experimentado con otros soportes fotográficos. Allí, pues, ese no lo envié, pero también con film no expuesto. Puede ser este film caducado a color como soporte al cual, pues, coloco objetos, pero en este caso es una especie de quimigrama. Estos objetos los coloco cuando ya han sido sumergidos en revelador y obtengo una imagen muy interesante porque al trasluz se ve el negativo y al verlo sin trasluz se ve el positivo de la imagen.
Bueno, espera, déjame pensar esto. Okay. He's explaining that he was also working with a negative. I can't remember if he said 35 millimeters or trying to do like a lumen with then the 35 millimeters, and he can obtain the positive and the negative at the same time. ¿Tiene un ejemplo,
Yes.
Julio?
Sí,
¿En tu Instagram o algo?
aquí. No, sí, en Instagram están. En Instagram.
Tú has
Pueden
trabajado
buscar en
mucho
Instagram.
con pinhole, ¿no?
Sí, pinhole, antotipia, fitotipia, bueno, el lumen, básicamente todo eso, ¿no? Una mezcla de todos ellos, todos estos procesos. Pero mi fuerte sí ha sido lo que es pinhole. Bastante con pinhole, de igual manera solarigrafía, solarigraphy, básicamente eso. Y
intervenciones, aquí vemos bordado también sobre fotografía.
sí, exactamente, sí, distintos materiales, uso distintos soportes e incluso guantes quirúrgicos con pigmentos naturales como de la cúrcuma, el onoto o achiote, distintos extractos pues, de pigmentos, de flores, en fin, distintos orgánicos.
¿Esto es lo que tú decías de la positivo y negativo con el 35? No.
Sí, ya va que no lo estoy observando ahorita. No lo veo en pantalla. ¿Lo están colocando?
Sí.
Ups, nada más. Veo ya va, vamos a ver.
Elsa, ¿me ves tú?
No. Solo veo la foto de que estaba presentando él.
Ah, no, vale.
No se ve.
Yo creo que debe de ser una pantalla diferente.
Ahora, ¿verdad?
Ahí,
ok,
sí
allí, exactamente. Sí, esa fue en época de fuerte pandemia, de COVID, y allí una mezcla de distintos semillas, flores y el film. Embebido con fixer, con fijador.
Okay, this was the example that he was talking about of doing this not with the paper but with the 35 millimeters negative in black and white in this case. And he was also talking about other works that he was doing like solarigraphy. I mean, he's really well known on pinhole photography, and he's trying like new techniques, a lot of them. He's a really interesting artist. He was also doing embroidery. We can see some embroideries here. It's pretty interesting. You can just follow him on Instagram. Really interesting. Okay, Julio, nice. Does someone has any questions for Julio? If not, we can go to the second part of today, just for having a short debate about different things related with photography. I think we are having two questions. I think we are going to do two groups of 7, 8, 9 people. I think we are going to spread the people between English and Spanish to make it easier for the debate. You can debate about everything because I mean it's going to be easier. I'm just going to give you the two questions and you can just debate about you one. One is about the interest on experimental photography that we are living now. Why people are so interested now on experimental photography, and if the study of historical techniques at the universities of schools or something, this kind of new schools of photography, they help of this growing of experimental photography. This is one question. And the other question is what is the future of photography? If we are going to arrive to the future based on experimentation or industrialization. I mean, this debate about handmade techniques and industrial techniques, these are the two debates. Okay, we are going to go to the groups. Just give me 1 second because I have to put you in the groups manually. Then we are going to be there like 20 minutes, just debating wherever you want. Okay, they say that you can choose the place where you want to be. We are going to create one in Spanish and one in English, and you are going to be able to put yourself in there. Okay, Thank you so much, everyone. See you there in the groups, okay? Just you have to choose going the one that you want. I think we have people from all the languages. Elsa and Esther, you can go wherever you want. Just have fun. Hola.
Sí, sí, sí.
Hola.
Hola a todos. Ahora un poco menos cansado del inglés. ¿Qué le iba a decir?
Escogió aquí.
Bueno, hola a todos, bienvenidos. A ver, me interesa a mí particularmente que discutamos sobre el tema del interés que hay por la fotografía experimental, ya que nosotros hemos hecho algo sobre eso también. Y no sé, me gustaría saber su opinión un poco de cómo ha ido esto, por qué estamos donde estamos. Igual ustedes llevan varios años también trabajando y haciendo imágenes y todo. ¿Qué hipótesis tienen de por qué hay esta vuelta, ¿no? De alguna manera a lo material, tocar.
Sí, sí. Bueno, yo quisiera decir algo. Yo siento que con esto que salió de lo digital y todo se volcó hacia lo digital y fue tan accesible para todo el mundo, yo creo que uno se llegó como a saturar, a cansar, ¿no? Yo vengo de la fotografía desde hace más de 30 años, o sea, totalmente análoga. Después tuve que brincar a lo digital y yo veía eso, por ejemplo, que trabajo en el ICP aquí en Nueva York, veía esa diferencia, ¿no? Que trataban, es más, hasta de quitar las clases que eran análogas para empujar más a lo digital, pero no lo han logrado. Entonces, poco a poco los jóvenes han ido comprando otra vez lo análogo, interesados por de dónde proviene la fotografía, y eso a mí me gusta mucho, porque siempre he sentido que es como volver a los orígenes para mí, ¿no?
Claro.
A las raíces, ¿no? Y yo creo que ahora hay todavía muchísimo más inquietud en que no nada más se quede en la foto como tal, ¿no? Lo que ve la cámara, lo que ve el ojo, sino ir más allá. Por eso yo creo que se está experimentando muchísimo más con distintos procesos, por esa inquietud, búsqueda, ¿no? De crear algo más, ¿no? Eso es lo que yo siento.
Espera un segundo. Bienvenida Simona Bácaro, tanto tiempo. Que también
¡Simona!
Hola. Elsa, ¿puedo pedirte que tomes nota de lo que estamos hablando y después hagas como un resumen? Porque si no, para que compartamos después con el otro grupo, como tú eres bilingüe y muy maja, entonces
no.
se anota como la pregunta y un poco las ideas que vamos dando para hacer un pequeño resumen, sería genial, así lo compartimos con el otro grupo.
Tengo que irme en, no sé, como en unos 10 minutos.
Vale, no pasa nada, te saludamos. Elsa, ¿me ayudas tomando notas?
Claro, claro.
Gracias, porque no puedo explicar yo y moderar y hacer todo al mismo tiempo en el grupo grande.
Yo pensé que tú tenías un gran cerebro, que podías digerir todo.
Digerirlo puedo, pero hacerlo no.
El doctor.
Vale, Telma, muchas gracias. Yo creo que sí, que viene un poco por aquí la cuestión. Lo que pasa es que estos jóvenes, para decirlo de alguna manera, no han vivido este proceso.
Sí.
Entonces, eso es lo sorprendente. Que tú vuelvas es normal, porque tú vuelves a casa.
Sí.
Pero para los jóvenes es como, bueno, los jóvenes como yo, y como la gente joven, directamente la fotografía es algo tan común, es algo que incluso pierde muchísimo valor, porque al final, si tú puedes hacer con el móvil cualquier cosa, la fotografía en sí misma pierde valor. Cuando tú tienes todas las imágenes, cuando todas las imágenes ya existen en Google, la fotografía desaparece. ¿No?
Tal cual, sí. Y es verdad lo que dices, eso que comentas de ellos no lo han vivido, dices, es que es verdad. Yo cuando doy clases de retoque, que yo doy clases de retoque análogo, con tinta, pinceles, en impresiones de fibra, y cuando les llego a dar la clase, me dicen, wow, healing tool. O sea, de Photoshop, ¿sabes? Entonces, a mí la primera vez que lo dijeron, yo dije, wow, es verdad. ¿Sabes?
¿Pero trabajas sobre negativos también o no?
No, más es sin impresión.
Vale, vale, vale.
Impresionante.
No, porque es
Sí, sí.
interesante. Yo que trabajo en archivo es súper interesante ver el tema de cómo se intervenía antes, en los negativos, antes de tirar las copias. Por ejemplo, con lápiz, ¿no? Se marcaban los bordes, por ejemplo, los bordes para que sea más contrastado, se hacían máscaras para sacar los costados y todo. O sea, es un mundo de la hostia, donde realmente se conectaba muchísimo la pintura con la fotografía en el proceso de creación analógica, y creo que, bueno, estamos lejísimos de eso todavía, de volver a recuperar eso, que también era una maestría, ¿no? De poder ahí pintar y retocar y dibujar.
Wow, y es que a veces veo fotografías que han estado retocadas y que digo, es que ¿cómo le hicieron? De verdad, unos maestros que eran.
Claro.
Y ahora un filtro.
Y ahora Fernando te lo hace.
Ahora lo que hace la fotografía análoga, en mi opinión, es de que te obliga a entender. Y cuando tú te pones a bajar una app, cuando tú te pones a decirle auto, lo que sea en Photoshop, hace lo que la máquina interpreta, ¿no? Pero, por ejemplo, tú no puedes corregir la exposición sin saber en realidad qué es lo que está pasando y por qué. Es demasiada luz y por qué se dañó la película y todo el proceso y la química de lo fotosensible y todo eso. Y lo digital no te enseña eso. Lo digital, ¿qué sabe lo digital de ser fotosensible? Nada.
Bueno, por eso te lleva al resultado, pero no te explica el proceso. Entonces yo sí que creo que ahí es donde la gente que tiene un poquito más de interés y de dudas empieza a ver las cámaras, ¿no? Como objeto, y empieza a relacionar la cámara con esos procesos y el laboratorio, ¿no? Y empiezan como a empezar a buscar cómo llegar a ese resultado, pero ya conociendo el resultado. Esto es como las tragedias griegas, que al final todas las tragedias griegas son iguales, o sea, al final todo es igual todo. Pero lo que causaba gracia, digamos, en la Grecia clásica era no el resultado que tú ya le conocías, sino cómo habían hecho la obra, ¿no? Digamos, la representación. Aquí un poco lo mismo, porque tú ya conoces cómo va a ser el proceso final, porque lo puedes hacer en un minuto, pero la gracia está en la realización de todo el proceso y de entender, ¿no? Y ver también dónde entra un poco aquí el azar en ese proceso manual. Creo que eso le da un significado nuevo. Esther, tú que eres muy joven, presupongo todo esto.
Muy joven.
Cuéntanos cómo lo vives tú.
No, sí, o sea, totalmente. A mí siempre me gustó la fotografía cuando estaba más pequeña y me compré una cámara digital y me encantaba y todo. Hasta que un día mi mamá encontró una Minolta de ella vieja y fue literalmente otro mundo. No, nunca volví a tocar más la digital, o sea, no quise saber más de ella porque fue como que, wow, todo, el sonido, tener que esperar, no poder saber qué tomé. La fotografía análoga me enseñó a, ok, tener paciencia, saber de que tal vez ese rollo va a salir completamente velado, no va a salir nada. Y no, de verdad que todo el proceso es lo que me encanta. O sea, exactamente poder entender qué está pasando, no tener que hacer clic y tener 50.000 fotos que nunca vas a ver de nuevo. A esto le metes más amor y piensas también el precio de los negativos. O sea, estás más anuente de lo que estás haciendo. Y también eso de poder experimentar, porque a mí en lo personal nunca edito, o sea, los lumen prints y nada de eso los edito en la computadora porque no me gusta estar sentada en la computadora porque ya trabajo en una computadora todo el día. Entonces poder hacer las cosas con mis manos, más manuales, es lo que de verdad me encanta de todo ese proceso.
Claro, y de alguna manera vienes de lo digital, has pasado al analógico, has empezado a intervenir la cámara,
Exacto.
las dobles exposiciones, la química, digamos, del film sub, y ahora vas hacia la química de la abstracción, no vas hacia eso ahí. No, es que es interesante porque es un recorrido que creo que estamos haciendo muchos y creo que llama un poco la atención. Simona, ¿quieres contar algo antes de irte tú de cómo llegas aquí? ¿Quién eres?
Bueno, sí,
es una italiana argentino parlante.
Ay, sí, verdad. Bueno, hola a todos. Bueno, yo vine al festival de este año, estuve ahí y me encantó porque conocí muchos fotógrafos nuevos y que trabajan con estas técnicas. Bueno, yo vengo de la fotografía analógica porque de niña mi papá tenía un curso, así que aprendí a revelar con él. Y de ahí, pero sí, trabajo con el digital también. Pero creo que la fotografía analógica es algo como mágico, porque como estaba viendo Esther, es como algo que te, no sé, cuando revela su rollo y tienes que tener más cuidado con todo, la foto. Y a mí me gusta mucho, yo hago Cyanotype, eso es lo que me gusta más. Cianotipia, así que me gusta, es como algo más matérico, ¿no? Entonces como hacer las cosas con las manos y es diferente de la fotografía digital y no sé esto. ¿Qué más
¿Dónde
puedo
estás
contar?
ahora?
No sé.
¿Dónde estás ahora?
Ahora estoy en Italia, en Bolzano, porque estoy trabajando acá
Vale.
en un trabajo que no tiene nada que ver con la fotografía.
La vida
por
misma.
suerte mañana termino. La vida es así, de temporada.
Sí, claro.
Pero sí, y quiero volver a mi casa para, bueno, poner la mano otra vez a la obra.
Sí, claro.
Volver a los oficios y tengo rollos para revelar y me encantó tu trabajo del Lumen Print con Cyanotype, con Cianotipia de Esther, porque me gusta mucho, yo soy como muy adicta de las plantas, así
No,
que...
gracias.
Y me encantó mucho, sí.
Gracias, te lo agradezco.
Y nada,
Bueno,
eso. Pero
súper.
muchas gracias por compartir el trabajo de los fotógrafos antes y por las charlas, pero gracias.
Súper,
Nos vemos
gracias Simona.
pronto.
Súper,
Chao.
cuídate. Nos vemos el próximo verano, ¿eh? No
Ay,
puedes.
sí, ojalá.
Los chicos te están esperando y las chicas también. Quiero hablar entonces con Carola y con Julio antes de que se acabe esta charla, así que no sé quién quiere hablar primero.
¿Cómo se sale así?
¿Te vas? Así, listo.
Sí, me voy. Ya es tarde.
Un abrazo,
Chao.
Simona, cuídate.
Un abrazo, chao.
Besos, chao. Carola, ¿tú estás en Buenos Aires?
Sí, estoy aquí.
Nos vemos en diciembre, ¿eh? Te voy a escribir después.
Bueno. Bueno.
Vale, cuéntanos, ¿qué opinas de este debate?
A ver, está muy interesante. Bueno, yo también vengo del analógico. Bueno, primero pasé por el cine, pero siempre con el analógico. Y después obviamente volqué a lo digital y ahora estoy volviendo también a mucho con la antotipia, con la cianotipia. Me pareció súper interesante. La verdad que hice un esfuerzo porque el horario del sábado para poder verlo, pero fue muy, muy, muy interesante. Y está buenísimo que estén con toda esta movida, ¿no? Es súper interesante. Es súper necesario también, como es eso, ¿no? El que vino del analógico y nunca lo soltó, bueno, ahora lo estamos viendo en auge, ¿no? Pero está buenísimo. Me parece que esté sucediendo esto es algo positivo para los jóvenes, ¿no? Digo, para todos los que no sabían de dónde venían las cosas, como estar empezando a investigar ayuda un montón creativamente para poder nutrirse.
¿Pero por qué crees que vuelven? O sea, se podrían haber todos ido a lo digital, o sea, se podrían haber ido todos al 3D, se podrían haber ido todos a la música y abandonar la fotografía, no sé.
No, bueno, pero qué sé yo creo que, a ver, hay un boom de lo visual, de la imagen, ¿no? Entonces, al haberse petado de alguna manera todo lo que es visual y visual, tiene lógica que lo analógico esté teniendo auge porque vas a lo que podés tocar, no sé, es como más didáctico poder trabajar con las manos. Creo que va por ahí, y lo que estaba diciendo también Telma, como del proceso, ¿no? De entender todo el proceso, o Esther, no me acuerdo, poder pasar por todas las etapas y terminar de entender realmente la fotografía. Sí, no, a ver, que por qué sucedió, y no creo que ninguno tiene la respuesta de por qué sucedió. Simplemente sucedió, creo que está bueno que suceda.
Sí, no, es guay. Lo que pasa es que yo soy historiador y me gusta intentar de entender por qué las cosas estas pasan, y después siempre escribimos textos para los catálogos del festival y tratamos como de compartir un poco las reflexiones, entonces aprovecho como para nutrirme de las ideas de todo el mundo. Entonces ahora si igual tenía alguien alguna idea genial, yo simplemente robaba esa idea y la ponía en el catálogo diciendo que era mía y ya me ahorraba un problema.
No te preocupa, Pablo, que haya tantos procesos que se estén desapareciendo, o sea, químicos que ya están descontinuados, de cosas que ya no se pueden obtener ni hacer. Como que ya la gente también que sabía de procesos de, no sé, más exactos, tal vez más científicos, ya pues se están retirando del proceso o muriendo, no sé. Como que es difícil entender si eso va a ser, o sea, se va a resucitar en algún momento. Yo creo que estamos resucitando lo que todavía se puede hacer, ¿no? Lo que todavía se puede, los materiales que podemos conseguir, pero el imprimir, por ejemplo, en color, yo no tengo ni idea de cómo hacerlo, y si los materiales se pueden conseguir aún, quién sabe, ni siquiera lo he investigado, pero es más y más difícil cada día.
Claro, tú dices cómo se hacían las impresiones a color en los 60, 70.
Sí.
Bueno, sí, evidentemente hay muchas cosas que se están perdiendo, incluso, por ejemplo, los mismos trabajadores, por ejemplo, en el caso de Polaroid, que es un caso claro, cuando Polaroid quiebra, todos estos técnicos desaparecen y algunos son rescatados con Original, Polaroid Originals, y algunos recuperan la fórmula y hacen y se evoluciona. Pero yo sí que sé que hay cosas que se han perdido, pero creo que son muchas más las cosas que se han recuperado. El año pasado en el catálogo hemos puesto, hay 86 técnicas que pueden ser utilizadas para cosas experimentales. Nunca nadie hubiera creído, incluso nosotros mismos el año anterior, o sea, 12 meses antes, creíamos que las técnicas eran 20, o que las técnicas más importantes eran 20 y ahora son 86. Entonces, claro, y ahora empezamos a hablar de mezclar técnicas. Y la próxima exposición es sobre ciencia y arte estadístico, cómo hacer arte y edición de video a partir de estadísticas, matemáticas y modificaciones de código. Bueno, o sea, yo creo que realmente hemos perdido cosas, hemos ganado como la evolución. Ahí los dinosaurios se han extinguido, pero también hay otras especies que surgen, y especies buenas como muchas especies, y especies muy malas como nosotros, que hemos venido a destruir todo y a extinguirnos. Así que vivimos un poco en esa, pero sí, estamos siempre ahí entre la vida y la muerte, entre la construcción y la reconstrucción. A mí lo que me interesa personalmente, si tú me has hecho la pregunta a mí, es no volver a utilizar las técnicas del siglo XIX para temas y para cosas del siglo XIX. O sea, la cianotipia se inventa, o bueno, se utiliza, digamos, no se inventa, pero se utiliza para dos cosas: para reproducir planos muy baratos de arquitectura y para que se puedan hacer difusión de la botánica de las plantas. O sea, y Anna Atkins es eso. Entonces, lo que yo digo es, 150 años después, imagínate tú que Anna Atkins no había visto nunca una película de cine, no conoce el montaje en el tiempo, no conoce el fotomontaje en el espacio. Ella explica eso. ¿Por qué nosotros, que somos, ya que hemos pasado por el jazz, por el fotomontaje revolucionario en el cine y por el fotomontaje en fotografía, o sea, en la compaginación, que era una cosa que no existía, ¿por qué seguimos haciendo las mismas fotos? Eso es lo que a mí personalmente me preocupa, ¿no? ¿Cómo podemos tomar esta técnica del siglo XIX para explicar realidades del futuro? No solo para explicar la realidad del presente, ¿no? Porque la fotografía del futuro está ahí. Cuando Anna Atkins era revolucionaria hace 150 años, la pregunta es ¿quién va a hacer la revolución el año que viene? Explicando qué y cómo, ¿no? O sea, mi preocupación va un poco más por ahí. Bueno, Julio, entonces cuéntame, Julio, para que terminemos ya y podamos también volver un poco al grupo y compartir un poco lo que me estoy compartiendo. Cuéntanos tú, que tienes también años trabajando y desde otro punto de vista y con otra experiencia, un poco cómo se ha vivido desde ahí esta vuelta a lo analógico.
Sí, bueno, muchas gracias. Bueno, fíjate, yo soy biólogo y soy ecólogo. Y mucho de mi trabajo pues tiene que ver con todo lo que son los aspectos naturales. Desde un principio, bueno, mis primeras cámaras fotográficas, como los que somos ya de esta época, yo tengo 50 años, pues eran analógicas. Pero para ese entonces yo tenía las Snapshot, apuntas y disparas, no tenía una cámara digital, digamos, profesional. Y bueno, el proceso, digamos, que teníamos de velo, de cómo se generaba la imagen, pues siempre me quedó en la duda, ¿no? Llegué a la universidad y allí pues pude ver algunos cursos de fotografía y me despertó esa chispa, ¿no? Y de ahí, bueno, fui, como dice aquí una de las compañeras, que digamos, dejó la digital y volvió al analógico. Yo, a mí me gusta, no soy partidario de puntos extremos. Para mí todo es un péndulo, ¿ok? Y entonces tanto lo digital como lo analógico pueden coexistir y bueno, como lo estamos viendo, pues de hecho aquí hay una coexistencia de lo digital y lo analógico, si no, no estuviéramos ahorita presentes. Sí, claro. Y yo creo que esa coexistencia es la que ha ayudado a segmentar que se vayan de nuevo retomando todos estos procesos, a la duda que tú tienes. Fíjate, el proceso, digamos, de globalización que tenemos tecnológica, lo que nos ha hecho a que muchas personas que desconocemos y que con un clic navegamos a cualquier parte del mundo, en distintas informaciones, pues se cree esa chispa, digamos, de duda y empezamos a experimentar. Entonces, yo creo que mucho, digamos, de la vuelta de lo analógico a lo actual se debe a gran parte a estos procesos pues, de comunicación instantáneos que tenemos digitales. Y, por supuesto, toda la información que conseguimos en la red. Yo soy netamente, evidentemente, soy experimental, como vemos, pero soy muy autodidacta. Todo lo que yo he trabajado hasta los momentos ha sido por tutoriales, por lo que se llama el conocimiento empírico, por ensayo y por error. Y allí, pues, he ido poco a poco experimentando, tanto así, bueno, desde ese punto de vista de científico, de mezclar, ¿no? Como estamos haciendo, mezclamos técnicas, les he dado nombres. Esa última técnica que mostré, yo la nombré de tipograma, por darle un nombre, ¿no? Porque, bueno, vamos a ponerle un nombre a esto, porque esto es una mezcla de todo y bueno, se me ocurrió ponerle ese nombre. Y allí vamos. Entonces, otra cosa que veo súper importante y que ustedes lo han dicho es lo kinestésico, lo que es palpable, que están tus sentidos en el momento de la fotografía. Tú hueles la fotografía, la sientes, la palma, le puedes pasar la lengua si quieres, porque si estás trabajando con pigmentos naturales, en fin, los pruebas. Entonces, somos seres humanos donde nuestros sentidos siempre están puestos. Y evidentemente, en una pantalla tan fría de un móvil o de un computador, pues no nos limita pues todos los sentidos. Y yo he tenido la oportunidad de participar dando talleres en pinhole, en estenopeica y sobre todo en estos procesos de antotipia y fitotipia con niños, y la experiencia es bárbara, es algo mágico, como dicen ustedes. Esa es la palabra, es mágico. El ver la emoción, o sea, eso no tiene valor, el ver la emoción, la cara de emoción, de felicidad de un niño o una niña cuando está en el cuarto oscuro y aparece una imagen de la nada, te pegan hasta gritos de la emoción. Y que es una fotografía que ellos hicieron con una cámara que ellos hicieron y que en un principio no podían creer que de una lata de refresco, de gaseosa, pues podías hacer una fotografía. Entonces, este proceso...
Sí. Termina, perdón.
Sí, no. Entonces, bueno, para ir concluyendo, no extenderme, básicamente eso es, digamos, y lo que me mueve ahorita, evidentemente, además de esta experimentación, es este proceso de aprendizaje para las nuevas generaciones. Nosotros somos los garantes de poder multiplicar y evidentemente lo multiplicamos a nivel de las redes, pero en físico, pues viene de nuestra parte en lo que son los talleres. Bueno, con eso concluyo.
Vale, yo lo que quería decir, ahora voy contigo, Fernando, tenemos 5 minutos. Quiero insistir sobre una idea, sobre la idea esta como del hazlo tú mismo y de la capacidad de probar. O sea, esto sí que me parece que es nuevo y que se ha sucedido gracias a las redes sociales y a Internet en los últimos 15 años, y es que cualquier persona de cualquier lugar del mundo puede tener acceso básico por un lado, la distribución de los materiales básicos y por otro lado, la información básica para hacerlos ellos mismos. O sea, ahora hay muchas escuelas de fotografía y todo, y nosotros también. Bien, pero eso viene al final, no viene al principio. Al principio viene de esta inquietud y de gente que puede encontrar en YouTube videos o en blogs, videos de cómo empezar en su casa a hacerlo. Creo que esto realmente sí que transforma y modifica toda la dinámica de la fotografía, porque te permite empezar a ver que es una industria y que a esa industria se la puede hackear y que se pueden hacer cosas por fuera de la industria de esta manera. Y hay gente que lo va explicando. Entonces sí que creo que es interesante eso. Hablamos de la materia, hablamos del cambio generacional, hablamos de las redes sociales, hablamos de la capacidad de aprender visualmente, de ver cosas diferentes que ya no están en los medios de comunicación masivos, porque antes sí que todo estaba en los medios masivos. Entonces, si no salía en MTV, uno no se enteraba de cómo era la música diferente, o si no había una revista, muchos lugares no teníamos acceso a las revistas. Hoy con internet tenemos acceso a todas las técnicas. Entonces, claro, nos llegan y ahí empieza la pregunta, ¿no? Y la inquietud. Pero también, por otro lado, esta capacidad de que los productos fotográficos lleguen, y por otro lado, de que la información básica nos llegue también a nosotros para poderlo hacer por fuera de las lógicas institucionales, evidentemente. Entonces, volver a ese jugar, a ese probar, a ese aprender, creo que son muchos factores estos los que han permitido que estemos en el lugar en el que estamos y que haya habido este renacimiento de la fotografía. A mí lo que me sigue pareciendo paradójico es que cuando la fotografía desaparece, porque es posible hacer cualquier imagen, por alguna razón volvamos a esto que tiene mucho trabajo. Si todo el mundo, todo el tiempo se dice, ¿no? que la gente joven va por la inmediatez, que no le interesan los procesos, que todo lo quieren ya, que no quieren esforzarse, ¿por qué hay todo un montón de gente que sí se quiere esforzar y que se pasan la vida probando técnicas nuevas, una tras otra? Eso me sigue pareciendo a mí impresionante y es una energía brutal que nosotros llamamos experimentación, que es una actitud al final, no es un proceso, no es un resultado, sino tiene mucho más que ver con una actitud. Y creo que eso es lo que une a toda esta gente que ha ido recuperando lo experimental y lo analógico, evidentemente, desde un principio. Fer, ¿tenías algo para comentar entonces?
Sí, solamente redondear, porque le escuché hacia todo dos ideas teóricas. Una de ellas es Diego Rusarín, que es un youtuber brasilero, creo que habla de que el proceso de comida, que recién mencionaba también Julio Blon, está relacionado a la memoria. Entonces, yo pienso que lo que se está buscando mucho es esa experiencia humana. Hay tanta pizza artificial en el aire que buscamos de vuelta irnos hacia la pizza. Así como los italianos tienen ese problema con las máquinas que piden pizzas, ¿verdad? Y otro es la cuestión que dice Willem Flusser de las imágenes que son las que se pueden sentir y las que son las sintéticas, que serían las virtuales, ¿verdad? Y ahí él habla de que la fotografía es un artefacto que el ser humano creó al servicio de la memoria y de esa tendencia del universo a desintegrarse, ir hacia lo frío. Entonces mi aporte teórico así breve son esos dos autores y esas dos ideas de que volvemos hacia la memoria, hacia lo complejo, pero que a la vez nos conecta con lo humano. Eso.
Espectacular. Sí. Bueno, genial. Volvemos entonces al grupo grande y nada, muchísimas gracias por estar aquí, por comentar, por discutir y que se mantenga este flujo. Os podéis seguir por Instagram, lo que sea, y seguir creando es genial. Nos vemos ahora en el grupo grande para compartir el debate y nos vemos en redes. Nos vemos, Fer, gracias. Laura, did you take some notes or someone of your group take them to share with everyone? No?
I took some notes, but we have been talking a lot, so it was really interesting.
Great.
Do you want me to share already?
Or you or someone, yes, you can just share what you have been debated, and then we have Elsa that is going to share our notes.
Okay. Well, I can say some things I have wrote down, and then if someone in the group wants to add something in my group, it's perfect, because for sure you can explain better than me. So we were talking now about the future of photography. I can start from there if you want. And the best answer was the Iris that say that it doesn't matter what is the future because we will go there anyway. So it doesn't matter in which way, if it will be industrialization, experimentation, or what. We will be there, so don't worry about that. And also we were saying that like the photography, like painting or any other form of art, as no future, we already tried to represent reality, and that's what photography does, and it's always so. It's a technique that is moving, is going to shift to something else that is not photography. So I don't know. That was our last discussion. And then for the first part, we talked about the what was it? The question. Yeah. Why there is such an interest? Yes, I remember now. That Dennis said a really interesting thing about this, and it's that the interest more than experimental photography, he thinks that it's more in alternative processes and historical processes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis.
That's pretty close to it. Basically, I said the real question is not why is there an interest in experimental photography, because photography by its very history has always been experimental. As soon as people started making photographs, they began experimenting, and the whole history of photography is one of experimentation.
Yes, the history, yes, but then we have
No. What I'm saying. But why do we have industrial photography? Because someone experimented. They literally, scientifically experimented on how can I get absolutely flat focus. The development of anastigmatic lenses was necessitated by the discovery in physics that not all light waves focus on the same plane. How can I design a lens that allows that kind of flat focus? And as soon as somebody did that, somebody started using it for something else. Back in the days when we only had film to shoot with, Kodak said on their film, not for experimental use, or they would specifically say how the film was supposed to be used. And there was always been a group of people who would take that and deliberately do exactly the opposite. That's why I'm saying it's not about why is experimental photography of interest. It's about why are historical processes now coming back, because they're allowing even greater experimentation by people who were too young to be doing film photography. They've suddenly discovered film. Oh my God, it's film. I can do this. That's experimentation. It is an experimental medium. The same way that painting is extraordinarily experimental. It's very spontaneously experimental. Whether it's a conscious effort or accidental. What were the words? Mistake, chance, repetition. That's experimental. But it's also the very nature of the process. It's built into the process.
Okay, Elsa, can you explain what we have been debating?
Thank you, Laura.
Can you hear me?
Yes, because we have been just debating on this question about experimentation and trying to find some ideas about it.
Sure. So I'm translating on the spot. I wrote everything down in Spanish, so bear with me. I'll see if my brain computes here. So the question is, why is there such an interest in experimental photography now? And do we need to teach more about visual culture in general to young people? What is the future of photography? Are we going to arrive into the future based on experimentation or industrialization? So I think we have a mix of people that are younger and some of us that are a little seasoned, I guess that's the word, in the field. And Delma brought up a really good point where, you know, she's been through the swing of digital photography. She started in analog, went to digital, but it seems like that was a forced change, not necessarily because people wanted to do it, but young people have maintained it current and have maintained it alive. So a lot of the classes that she teaches, you know, they're analog and they're like about touching up photos with a brush, and then the light bulb goes off in these young people and they say, wow, that's the healing tool in Photoshop. It's like, no, you know, that was a brush that was used in analog, and now it was mimicked in software, right? So the process, you know, that we talked about is like the more, I think Julia used a really cool word, kinesthetic, you know, just palpable, touching, drawing. And also we talked about the process that analog forces you to understand the concepts and the theory behind light and photography and sensitive materials. And the Esther mentioned also, you know, that really forces you to put a little bit more love into the process, because you really have to slow down and you're more conscious of it. And it's, you know, that part of having more touch, you know, and actually manual process that makes it more beautiful. So we kind of debated, okay, so, you know, there's like all these stages. So there's things that are gained, there's knowledge that is now lost. You know, how are we going to try to recoup some of those things from the 19th century? Maybe they should be gone forever, or maybe not, I don't know. And Pablo really made a good point about, you know, it's like, it's not about keeping things from the 19th century alive and on life support or whatever, that was my word. But it's more about, you know, bringing things back to create a narrative that is no longer of the 19th century, but is a narrative that is going to apply to people's stories in, you know, the 2020s and this decade, you know, or in the future. How are we going to create narratives, maybe using an old process, but that is a narrative or is going to explain realities of the current world. And Julio talked about his process and what the mixing and the spark that he creates, you know, just playing around with different processes. And, you know, he's like, okay, so this world that is so globalized, you know, it's now a good and I guess bad, but, you know, you get more knowledge through YouTube videos or whatever. And that also creates a spark of creating more, right? So now you know how to make a cyanotype or lumen print, and how do you mix and match. He has this word for his prints, the tipograma. So there's a new process, right? Tipograma. And so he also teaches pinhole for little kids. So he's very excited when they actually like scream from seeing a photo that they took from a can, you know, and it's just like just a really beautiful thing to see them, you know, very excited about analog photography. So we also mentioned, you know, that there's a typical like criticism of young people, that people want immediate things, they want fast things, quick things. And it's like, okay, so if that's the current generation, why are we now experimenting with analog, right? Which is not fast, not quick, and it just has to do with a different attitude of, okay, well, let's just keep experimenting, you know, and that's kind of the continuum of the process and experimentation. Also, Fernando made a comment about a YouTuber that talked about photography is not an image that is just so like, you know, transitory or you know, it's seen on social media like just quickly. You know, the photography is the image that you can feel, and also photography or photograph is like an artifact to humanity's memory. So it's just serving a purpose to aid our memory, basically, to help us remember, if that makes sense. So that's my translating on the spot service.
Thank you so much, Elsa. Anne-Marie wants to say something about this debate.
Yes, I was thinking in general, maybe I'm looking from outside the box a little bit. I think the future of photography, it's like the future in general. I think we have to look at what needs changing, and what needs changing is the whole system, basically. So I think when we're looking at education, education needs to change so that the young generation is more able to be creative, to actually let their imagination flow. And I think that will guide the future of photography, like the future of all sorts of other things. But the future of photography might not be there. I don't know. We need to work backwards. We need to actually look at what we're offering. I mean, if the kids are actually taking shortcuts, it's because that's the society we've actually presented them with. It's not their doing, it's our doing. And I think from that point of view, the message that I feel in photography is that let's make the kids creative again. Let's give them the power to change things. And they will change the future of photography. They will change the future of art. They will do all sorts of things. And I think that's what I welcome, really.
Great, great. That's why we are trying to do. I mean, empowering people for doing new things, yes, and trying to connect all the community, yeah, because we really think that if we are working together, we are going to be more creative together, because that's a way like to be like empowered. If we are a group, we have much more energy and ideas to share. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie, for these ideas. I think it was an amazing debate. I mean, from the beginning that we start just seeing some images, some projects, some ideas, some basics or not so basics, process and techniques and projects, till this point of the debate. I really love the format of these meetings, because I think now we have like a lot of ideas, and we are going to be tomorrow on Sunday just like thinking about what we have been debating today. Thank you so much to everyone. It was really, really amazing of having you here. We were not a lot of people, but we really used really, really well our time. I'm really happy that everyone were able to share what they were thinking, share their images and projects, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking part of this exhibition. Feel free to participate in the rest of the exhibition. Next one is about science. And then we are going to keep going with the online exhibitions till the month of April, I think, because then we are just starting working for the festival. We have a big team, but we need everyone working for the festival in the month of April. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. See you on Instagram and all our webpage and things. Just think about all this debate during the Sunday. And if you have any questions or whatever, you can just write directly to other people, or you can just send us an email. We're happy to share and collaborate all the time, okay? Thank you so much to everyone for being here. Have a nice weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.